Ox's Forge Gallery, and my studio's downstairs, and it was all born out of me just finding a workshop. Me personally, it's the colour, it's the reflections, it's the movement, it's the texture, it's the fact that it's actually always a liquid, it never stays still. It's just got fluidity. I think it depends how you use it, obviously, but I like the movement, the reflections, the colour. It's nice. Nice is an awful word, isn't it? But you know what I mean. It's good. It's energy. It's a very new medium for doing the kiln-formed glass. The blown glass has been going for eons and eons, and that's not technically correct, but a very, very long time. The Romans did it and all sorts of things. Fused glass, relatively new, and it's kind of boomed more from the USA. I went into college and I was doing my foundation at Oxford Brookes, and my tutor at the time said, "You're meant to be at an interview in Farnham." And I was like, "What for?" And she went, "Glass." I went, "Okay." And I kind of fell into it that way. And I was the first person in the whole college at Farnham to get in bullseye glass. Now you'll have all seen these colours that I use, and they're quite familiar. And the college has it in racks, and I was the first person to ever bring that in. It's imported from America and made in Portland, and they've got this amazing resource centre over there, which I've been to and done a couple of master classes and stuff like that. Really lovely place. It's like a sweetie shop, you know, they've got all the coloured bits of glass and the little frits and the stringers and all this kind of stuff. My first workshop I set up 4 months after graduating in 1996 and opened the doors January 1997. I was under kind of an umbrella of a lady who saw me, saw my work and saw potential. Within about 8 months I'd kind of moved away from there, became self-employed, but I was very lucky. She provided me the workshop, she provided me with a flat, and I didn't have to pay any rent or anything like that, and I was paid £60 a month. And I ran my car on that, and I bought my shopping with that, and I smoked on that and did all the other things you do on that. And I did that for about 3 years and then became properly self-employed, and that was my first workshop. I was in Herefordshire for 4.5 years, and then I finally broke away and learnt that there's no such thing as a free lunch, paid them back tens of thousands, and then had a fresh start, and then set up my workshop in Basingstoke, and then this is my third workshop. At one stage I was probably too ahead of the time, but not in the limelight enough for it to take off. You know, you're always riding a wave. What makes it unique? I don't know. Again, I think because I don't churn them out. When I do a piece, I do a piece, and I'm not saying I haven't repeated things and kind of churned it out sometimes to make a living, but you can tell the difference. Determination, hours, time, everything you would expect with doing a business, except the thing with being arty is it's 10 times harder, because nobody needs what we're doing. It's not like a plumber or a bloody solicitors or something like that, you know, accountants. You don't need beautiful things. We all like beautiful things, and that's good, so you kind of go on that thing, but it's hard. It's really hard. So you just got to put your fingers in lots of different pots and make it work for you, and try different things and not have fear and stick to your guns. It's a whole another dimension. It's, you know, you've got to have people believe in you, you've got to keep it nice, you've got to really, you know, there was an artist in earlier who said, "Oh, because I'm doing such and such down the road," and it's like, no, our ethos is we're exclusive and we're exquisite, and you've got to stick to that, because it's so easy for your ideas and your focus to get watered down. So passion, I think, because without that, what's the point? My client said it was a cityscape, and because they're very, very textured, she said at night it dances, and I was like, oh, I'm going to use that, you know. I was like, how lovely is that? Whereas a painting goes flat. There's nothing to a painting at night. It just becomes, well, you know, when it's dark and you don't see it. And I think the difference with glass is it still has life in it when it's just by being, you know. And I always add a little bit of twinkle to most of them, so that depending on how the light goes, whether it's artificial or natural, it will always bounce off and add a little bit of twinkle. I love a bit of twinkle, don't you? I mean, you can see, again, with some of the nudes, it's very Matisse, it's very Picasso-y, it's very Matisse with his, and again it goes back to because I like collage, I like paper, I like stationery, I like Sauvignon Blanc, I like lots of things, you know, I like bubbles, I like twinkle, and it's all in there somewhere, you know. I like a little bit of comedy, hence the washing lines, and everything that you see you realise has an influence, and all the artists we've all studied, and you see stuff, the pebbles, the sea, the leaves, you know, it's all the basic stuff that everybody gets inspired by, but it's how you translate it, I think. Because you put your heart and soul into everything, and I think that's the difference between when you're an artist churning it out to make a living to an artist. But being the artist, you're not always going to earn anything because you can be too passionate. It's a real balance, business balance. It's a wrap. Let's go home.